Satnam, Namaste. I'm Maura Devi with Source Yoga Studio. I'm doing a quick video. Well, actually, I have a lot to talk about, so it might not be that quick. But I have been thinking for a while now about sharing a video on keeping our energy uplifted. And I have a lot going on. I'm just taking a little break. I'm actually in the process of moving, but I have felt called, as I just mentioned, for about a week now to share some information that has helped me, and I feel it's important to pass that on. So what I would like to talk about are different tools that we can use and that we need to use to keep our energy uplifted. I've got my girlfriend who's helping me move and my other friend on the pan drum, so everybody's hanging out and having a good time today. And one of the ways to keep your energy uplifted is by being in nature, finding places to be secluded in, even if you need to drive for a little bit and to take a break. So energy is what we're made of, and we can have energy that vibrates at a higher level and sometimes not so high. And if we are in situations where we have roommates or where we have relationships or situationships with people who are not vibrating on whatever level we're on, there's a lot of things that we can do to keep our energies uplifted. We all have heaviness going on right now. I think that's a common factor for most people in life. I know for most people that have crossed my paths, we're all going through something. So it is very important when we feel our energies coming down and when we feel heaviness and sadness coming upon us that we work daily at keeping our energy up high. I know for me, I used to just do most of my spiritual practice in my yoga studio. Now most of my day is spent on keeping my energies high because I have a lot coming at me and I have a lot going on. And to not admit that would not be authentic. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going over my huge transitions and challenges that I'm going through, but I will talk about what I'm doing daily to help me. So none of this is going to be new, first things that you've heard for the first time, but maybe you can pick up some pointers to perfect your spiritual practices and your rituals that will help you out. So one of the things that I do daily, I used to do it every other day at the studio. Now I do it every day in my house and on my family. It's to sage. And sage, Palo Santo, bay leaves. There's lots of things that you can burn. There's spiritual charcoal, things that if you don't like the smell of sage, you have a lot of different choices, but the action of burning something is very purifying. So this is a video about cleansing and protecting. So the act of lighting something on fire, the fire, completely transforms whatever is being burned to nothing. And then there's a purification in that. So when you sage, first thing you want to do before you sage is open your windows. If you're saging, when you're saging, you're shifting the energy, and that energy needs to leave. So if you're saging your house or sacred space, your yoga studio, you have to open the doors for that energy to leave. Now when you go, this is how I do it. I go from left to right through all the corners in my space, because that has the action of taking away. And before I light my fire, my purification, I do the Mangalachara mantra for protection. Come to a Kundalini yoga class if you want to hear what that is, but you can do your own prayer to whomever you connect with, or your own mantra, or you can even just simply state, and this is what I also say, is any energy that does not belong leaves now. All energy of love, protection, abundance, and peace returns now. And it doesn't mean that something bad has happened there. In a yoga class, we're releasing. So I have to keep cleansing. We had the studio professionally, what did they call it? Like decontaminated for COVID. So now when I'm saging, I'm adding that intention that we are germ-free and everybody can breathe and be healthy. So I go from corner to corner after I've opened the windows, after I've done my protection mantra, and then I just say love, peace, blessings, abundance, and protection. Love, peace, blessings, abundance, and protection. And I go room through room until I get to the front door. And then I go around 3 times with the door open. And then by the time I get to where I started, I have another prayer that I do, which takes me to where I got that prayer. This is an old book. I've been doing this practice for a long time, and it's called Psychic Self-Defense. And there's a prayer in here. I'll not say it now, but I say that prayer, and it takes me through my upper and lower triangle of my chakras, and then I kind of even make a cross over my head, and then I'm done. So saging is one tool you can use to cleanse and protect. Energy, I started to talk about, this is what I also wanted to share with you. Energy is not good or bad. It can just be transformed. It can change, and it can be vibrate at higher or lower levels. Now, as healers, I often hear people say, I was working on a client and I picked up some negative energy and now I have a headache, or now I'm very sick. And I do believe that happens to people. My experience and my training has taught me that energy is not contagious. We don't need to be afraid of passing somebody or of working with somebody. But what energy does, what lower frequencies can do, are trigger experiences in us that can make us not feel good. So, as a healer, as a spirit in a human body, we need to daily work on keeping our energy up so that we don't feel taken down by working with other people or by passing other people. And this just happens because we're alive. It doesn't mean that people are good or bad. A funny example is I went to Marshall's when they opened, and I took my beautiful daughter, and we all had masks on. We all were waiting in line for our turn, and the person that was managing the line said, okay, I can let I forget, like 3 people in, and there was one lady and then like a family of 4 and then me and my daughter. And so they ended up letting the family of 4 in before the person who was next, so that group didn't get separated from their children. And then my daughter and I were playing and waiting for our turn, and the lady who didn't get to go in started complaining to me. And this is what happens when you're an empath, is people feel comfortable in sharing things with you. But she started complaining to me as if I worked there, or if there was anything I could do about it. And I was really just trying to have a good time with my daughter. I was so excited to go shopping and finally be able to buy her some new toys. So by the time we got back into the store, I ran into the woman again, and we were buying our toys, and I just really wasn't in the mood to hear her weird opinions. And so my day started, ready to go shopping and have fun, which had been in a long time. And turned out to, by the time I got home, I just didn't feel like it wasn't very enjoyable. It was really stressful. And this is what I mean about contacting energy. I didn't pick up any of that energy from that woman, but she could have triggered something in me that could have ruined our experience. And so I do these things. I sage, I breathe. We're all going through something, and so that was something funny where I realized, like, going outside is a lot of work, as we all are experiencing now, which takes me to my next subject of crystals. So crystals transmute energy. For cleansing, smoky quartz, pyrite, black tourmaline. When I go out, I'm loaded. Another funny story. A car hit our car recently, so I had to go in for some x-rays. And I kept my bra on and took everything else off so they could do my back, and then the technician came in and was like, do you have something is showing up? And so I had to take out, oh, that's just my rose quartz for love right here by my heart. So we all got pockets. Those crystals that I mentioned, carry them, cleanse them by putting them outside when it's a full or new moon. Put a jug of fresh water outside when it's a full or new moon, and drink that to purify you. One water, I didn't bring my example with me, but Florida water, we've made it in the studio. I just found some and have loaded up the studio with it. Florida water is mostly alcohol. When I use it to cleanse myself, I pour it in my hands. We've done this in class, taken 3 breaths. It's very strong. And then just kind of like you're getting all from your armpit chakras, your whole body, just like you're kind of brushing off sand. And you will feel instantly like you took a bath, but a different type of bath. It feels very cleansing. So Florida water, we've made it. I think I mentioned that in the studio. If you don't want to be putting alcohol, even though we are often now putting alcohol around us, make some rose water. Get some roses. Jennifer from Jennifer's Juice taught me how to do this in a really sweet way recently, where if you have roses, let the petals fall off naturally and collect those and put them in a big glass jar of purified water, leave it outside in the moonlight, and then spritz that all over yourself. What else? Saltwater baths. You may have heard of this before for sore muscles. Well, to cleanse your energy and to protect yourself, you can use Epsom salt, you can use Himalayan salt, you can use white salt, you can use bath salts. But set the intention before you get in the bath to be cleansed and purified. And I'll share another funny story with you, where I was working recently with one of my spiritual helpers, and they're saying, you got to take your salt baths, get in the salt bath. And so I do a lot of salt baths anyway for sore muscles from yoga, but I wasn't doing it properly. My friend asked me how I was doing, and I said, I've had a headache for the past 2 days, and I actually took medication for it. And normally I just use my oils, but it was really intense. And she said, have you been submerging your head when you did your salt baths? And I said, no, I've just been putting in my body. And she said, get in the bath and dunk your head. So what was happening to me is the energy that was leaving was getting stuck in my head and causing a headache. So I took her advice. Headaches were gone. So when you're doing a salt bath, you can make a ritual of it. You can make it really nice. Get your salt, get a bowl, or just do it all directly into the water with some lavender. You could add any herbs that you want. I usually just do the salt and essential oils. But again, before you get in, you set your intention. The salt is healing. I'm here to release. The salt helps me. And whatever you want to say. And then you soak and you submerge. And when you open the plug for the water, you just imagine that everything's going away, down the drain, to the ocean, to our Earth Mother, to Gaia. Those things have really helped me recently. When things are being added to us, piling on us every day, there's no reason why we shouldn't be working at removing them every day. My one of the studio's teachers, Michael, got this for me, and this is an amazing key, and it's full of photonic sand, and it keeps away like 5G electronics. I wear this often, It's kind of heavy for yoga, it kind of smacks me, but I do wear it every day and it's helped a lot. And my last subject, speaking of Michael, is sound healing. So I'm really, really happy because today was Marlene's first day back at the studio after like 2 months. And she's gonna be bringing her gongs and her crystal bowls back. And Michael, I've been calling him my Archangel Michael lately because he is an amazing healer. He's recently invested in these crystal triangles and these crystal chalices, and he did a 10-minute session on me here a couple weeks ago, and I felt like I had relaxed for 40 minutes. I felt like I was in a tunnel. I could feel energy leaving through my feet. I won't go into detail, but it was so helpful and so healing. And we play the gongs for you guys in the studio. It's cleansing for the chakras. We do sound healings with the space apart, you know, so everybody's safe, but the vibration just goes through, and lower frequencies cannot withstand the frequency of the gong. You come in not feeling good, we'll gong, and then those frequencies are gone. So find what works for you, make your own rituals. This video is getting pretty long now, but it's important to cleanse. It is so important not to get drugged down. We have so much going on right now. Last night was a really tough night for people that live in Riverside. It took me an hour to get home to my daughter because there was a suicide attempt off the freeway. Then I got home and there were helicopters flying. Because people were trying to take down the cross on Mount Rubidoux. Like, it's intense. So please take care of yourself. Food and fasting is my last subject. We know to avoid fast food. We know that, right? Of course, all about balance. Treat yourself with chocolate and with love when you need. But be careful what you eat. I do intermediate fasting. It's part of my practice. It has been for a while with the moon cycles. So when there's a full moon or a new moon, which you feel the energies for 3 days of each. So the first day I try to juice. The day of the actual full or new moon, I am trying to just do water and lemon. And then the third day back to juice. And you know, if I need to eat, I do. And if you have, you want to consult with a doctor before you try fasting, and be graceful with yourself. But when I'm able to not spend my energy on digesting my food during spiritual times, or even during special stressful times, or when I need to cleanse, then my energy is spent on what I need to figure out spiritually. And that goes into meditation and all of those beautiful things. So don't let your energy be brought down with alcohol right now. I'm not going to try to sound too preachy, but it's not a good time to be drinking spritzers or spirits, whatever they call it. Those are when we open ourselves up to those lower vibrations, then heavy things can start happening. So drink a lot of water, lots of water. We're introducing new healers at Source Studio. We're planning a spirit day where we're going to just provide lots of professionals in all kinds of areas. So I don't want to spill the beans on that, but we've got some good things coming. God bless you. I love you. This is Ladybug. She's so cute. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Namaste.